Liat has been forced to cancel flights to Grenada. A statement from Liat's office explained that the decision had to be taken after employees at the Maurice Bishop International Airport went on a go-slow. Customers who were booked to travel today and may wish to rebook for a later date will be allowed to do so without charge. Liat's management is seeking to work with the Technical and Allied Workers Union, which represents the workers, and the Grenada government to bring a speedy resolution to this matter. The government in Jamaica has placed an indefinite ban on the scrap metal trade following widespread theft of metal across that island. Industry Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the matter had been discussed at Cabinet meeting on Monday, and the move to place the indefinite ban is also as a result of the request by stakeholders in the industry to stop the theft of metal. According to Tufton, a decision has however been taken by Cabinet for an arrangement to be put in place by the end of the year that will allow companies which generate their own scrap metal to apply for permits to export the material. The scrap metal theft has cost government and the private sector more than US $11.7 million over the past 3 years. In Trinidad, the embattled Health Minister, Dr. Fouad Khan, has decided to remain in the cabinet of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar after she gave him an ultimatum. Dr. Khan, who had been sworn in on June the 27th following a cabinet reshuffle, had continued his private practice, but yesterday was given less than 24 hours to decide which of the two jobs he would pursue. But in a statement issued late last night, Dr. Khan said he had decided to put country first and that he would cease his medical practice and remain as Minister of Health. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar had described as untenable and inappropriate the decision by Dr. Khan to continue his private practice while still being the substantive Minister of Health.
Next on the CBC Evening News, the Business Report, brought to you by Sagicor General. Wise financial thinking for life.
Good evening, I'm Kent Jerson and this is the Business Report. Finance Minister Chris Sinclair says unemployment is trending down in Barbados and government is on course to restore the economy to good health. He made the comments in Parliament as he moved the resolution to raise the Treasury bill limit to $1.75 billion. Mr. Sinclair also indicated that he's fired up for the presentation of the national budget next month.
The hour is close at hand. The budget is going to be delivered. And all those who want to, Mr. Deputy Speaker, all of those who are anxious to reply, they have to know that I have a reply to the reply. And I am waiting.
The Finance Minister told the lower house that the removal of the 3% environmental levy had helped to hold down price increases.
The net effect of it, Mr. Deputy Speaker, has been to modulate price increases, particularly among commodities in Barbados. In addition to freeing us to meet our treaty obligations, which we were in breach of, terribly in breach of, for many years.
Now, as Barbados seeks to maximize foreign direct investment, it's been getting advice from an expert in the field. He is David O'Donovan, who spent much of his career with the Irish government's Industrial Development Agency, which is recognized worldwide as a success story in foreign direct investment. The Irishman spoke to local businessmen recently about his experiences. Noting that a facilitating environment must be created, he said the agency spent $322 million in 2009 attracting FDI, and he points out that it was worth it, given the government's tax take from companies in that sector.
Those companies, some paying 10%, some paying 12.5%, depending on when they came in, paid in the same year $4.2 billion in tax to the government. So you could say $322 million expenditure. I know there's a time lag effect here, somebody might ask me, there is a time lag, but if you take it from year on year, every year, these are the kind of figures. So many times the expenditure in terms of tax take from those same companies, multiples. So for us, it was a no-brainer. And we could show these figures to the public and get support.
Mr. O'Donovan also said they were selective in targeting foreign companies, going after those that would yield high returns. He said besides the obvious benefit of maximizing revenue, this made it easier to sell the idea to the public.
The feeling was, if we could say to the public, you know, these investments are going to give us, we're looking for a return of at least 4 times the benefit to the cost to the state. That's not a bad deal. And even the taxi driver, no disrespect to taxi drivers, the man in the street could understand this. It's very simple. So we started doing this for every project and then doing it historically after the project had invested. So then we could go back to the government, who would then publish the figures and explain in any public utterances that, look, we're spending this money, but we're getting the money back. The state is getting the money back within less than 7 years, typically around 4 or 5 years.
Take a brief look at the stocks now. Here's a summary of today's trading on some of the region's exchanges.
Very good evening to all, and we recorded mixed weather conditions across Barbados once again today. Overnight we had some thunderstorm activity and 3.4 millimeters of rainfall all totaled. Well, in St. Lucia and Dominica, throughout the same period, they had as much as 2 inches of rainfall. So the levels of instability and the moisture levels are up. Now, in terms of the temperature, though, we got up to 31.1 degrees Celsius at the airport, measured around 2. The minimum temperature overnight was 24 degrees Celsius. At 6 o'clock, skies were cloudy. We were experiencing a light shower at the airport, 28 degrees Celsius, the humidity 83%, and the winds coming out of the southeast at 24 kilometers per hour. And, well, comes the satellite photo. There are 2 tropical waves in the eastern Atlantic, Barbados and the island chain around here. The first is around 25 degrees west, the activity to the south of 18 degrees north, and the normal procedure is most of the convection at this time is embedded down south in the region of the intertropical convergence zone. The other tropical wave is around 48, 49 degrees west. That too is to the south of 18 degrees north, but the model data is suggesting that this wave is going to be weakening as it moves towards the west. That does not mean, though, that it will not have some impact on the weather in the island chain. Let's put the cloud in motion. The analysis today showed a surface trough draped right across the island chain, and as a result, the shallow patches of low-level clouds sweeping into the region got some enhancement. As a result, some of those overnight showers were caused by the enhancement of the patches and the association with the trough. Now, the trough is moving to the west, but the instability levels are expected still to be quite high. The patches moving in under the influence of the weakened high pressure ridge will maintain elevated moisture levels, and as a result we're going to be looking at showers, maybe even a chance of isolated thunderstorms tonight and into tomorrow. Of course, the tropical wave of which I spoke, that is going to be adding to the instability, so that by tomorrow, that in association with a series of troughs, these troughs, as opposed to the tropical wave, will be adding to the instability, and we're going to be looking at a couple of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Now, in the west, this is the effect of a tropical wave that passed through us a couple of days ago. Some potential for enhancement, but it's generating a considerable amount of activity over western Cuba. I'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Well, this is our depiction of what we're expecting tomorrow. As I indicated, a series of surface troughs and moisture ahead of that tropical wave presently along 48 degrees west. That is going to be bringing in some moisture into the area. As a result, partly cloudy skies, scattered showers expected tonight and into tomorrow. Thereafter we are seeing a fluctuation in the intensity of the instability and moisture content, and a few showers are going to be the order of the day over the next couple of days. Let's take a look at our 4-day prediction. We're going to be looking at Wednesday through to Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, isolated thunderstorms expected with a drying out of the atmosphere, marginal drying out of the atmosphere come Thursday. But as I indicated, we are seeing the moisture levels just about there or thereabouts to generate a few scattered showers, a general mix quite similar to that we had here in Barbados today. Sunrise in Barbados tomorrow, 5:42. Sunset will be at 6:27. The tide situation, the first high tide 21 minutes after midnight. The second is going to be at 2 in the afternoon. The first low tide 29 minutes to 8 tomorrow morning. The second is going to be at 6:51 in the evening. Seas moderate in open water and swells are peaking at 2 meters. The winds across the region easterly to east-southeasterly 15 to 35 kilometers per hour. Tonight and tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy with some showers and isolated thunderstorms.